As with many of the NHL stuff that's going on this time around, we're gonna have to make this video twice. Same thing with the mock draft, same thing with the draft lottery, that's all stuff we're gonna have to do twice, but this video here is going to be our play-in series predictions. Now I say we're gonna have to make this video twice, because once the play-ins are over, we're going to have to make a playoffs predictions too. But, in the meantime, this is a video going over the 4 Western Conference play-in series and the 4 Eastern play-in conference series. My voice is kind of fried right now because I was live streaming earlier today, and if you want to catch up on all these hockey games, check out Lego Rocks 99, the YouTube channel. We're going to be on here live streaming many of these games and interacting with the fans. So if you're interested in spending some time watching the games with me, then hey, all the power to you. We're going to be streaming a lot this play-in series and the playoffs, so check it out if you want to. Let's go over to our first play-in series. We'll start over on in the West, because I like the West. I'm here on the West, and West we read from right to left, so it only makes sense. We're talking about Calgary and Winnipeg. Straight up, I'm going to say it, Winnipeg is going to win this one. I believe it's going to be a 3-1 series. Winnipeg is much better than I thought they would be. And Calgary kind of was a little bit shaky. Obviously, I don't want to base all this stuff just off of the one exhibition game that all these teams were playing, but to me, even before the pause up and everything, in my mind, I just kind of established Winnipeg as a better team. Connor Hellebuyck is probably going to win the Vezina. That guy can stand on his head and save every single thing coming at him. You can't go wrong with Connor, Ehlers, Scheifele, Laine, Wheeler. Such a stacked team, and I know Calgary has their own good offensive weapons as well, but in my opinion, it's just not the year, man. I just don't feel it for Calgary. I think Winnipeg takes this one 3-1. Next up, we have the Edmonton Oilers and the Chicago Blackhawks. The Blackhawks came into this exhibition game on fire. They swept the Blues 4-0. Are you kidding me? Well, they didn't sweep them, but they beat them 4-0. That was a crazy game. We still saw it that Patrick Kane, all these guys are still as skilled as they were before. The young guys coming in here with their youth and their offensive flair, scoring some goals on Jake Allen, and it certainly was not a good look for St. Louis. Meanwhile, though, it's the Connor McDavid show. In Connor McDavid, the Edmonton Oilers, and Leon Draisaitl, this team is as energized as anybody to get back in there in the play-in series. And make no mistake about it, even though the Blackhawks were the better team against St. Louis, I still think that Edmonton comes away and, at the very least, wins this one 3-1, if not 3-2. It's gonna be tight, because Chicago, once the stakes get ramped up, they just all of a sudden kick it into a new gear, and it almost seems like they do that every single time. But they're playing up against a rested McDavid, and rested McDavid is something that we haven't seen yet to its maximum capacity. Next up, it's the Vancouver Canucks and the Minnesota Wild. Now, I was avoiding making a prediction for this one the entire time I was streaming, because as a primarily Vancouver Canucks fan base on a primarily Vancouver Canucks-based YouTube channel, people were asking about it. And I was kind of avoiding it because I was like, you know, I don't want to make a prediction. I can see it going either way. And that, all in all, is the truth. I can honestly see either team winning this one 3-0, 3-2, or 3-1, as I can seeing the other team win. Because Vancouver, Minnesota has always been a weird match to watch. Minnesota, one of the most boring games in the NHL. Their decor is so good, their goaltending is meh, but the Vancouver Canucks, whenever they play this team, just can't seem to match their pace properly and actually overtake that. The Vancouver Canucks lost the season series to the Wild, and with a team as good as Petey, Miller, Toffoli, Besser, Pearson, Horvat, Quinn, Hughes, Edler, Markstrom, etc., you would think they should beat this Minnesota Wild team, right? But it just doesn't feel like that in my heart, which is why I can't be super confident. When I say the Canucks are going to win this one 3-2, okay, let's go. Next one. It is the Arizona Coyotes and the Nashville Predators. Okay, no, but seriously, I do think the Vancouver Canucks can beat them, and I think they probably will beat them. It's just that I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota would beat them either. So, let's talk about the next series over here. Arizona just wrapped up a 3-1 loss against the Vegas Golden Knights. The Nashville Predators just came off of a 2-0 win against the Dallas Stars. In my opinion, this one will go through with Nashville, with Pekka Rinne standing on his head, doing Pekka Rinne-like things, and with the Arizona Coyotes being unable to get offense done in the same way they did against Vegas. This Arizona team, my goodness, if you watched the stream yesterday, they had 10 shots in the first 2 periods, 5 in the first, 5 in the second. They ramped it up in the third and got double their shot totals with that period, so I will give them credit. And they did look somewhat good against the Vegas Golden Knights in that third period, but this team needs to know how to actually start. And against a Nashville team that's going to be willing to play against them defensively and is going to be able to shut down what limited shots they're going to be able to get, I think Nashville sweeps it. It's 3-0 in this one. And I know some people are going to be upset that I said that, but I think Nashville is going to take this one 3-0, and then we go over onto the East. First off, it's skill versus will. Toronto versus Columbus. Can the skill of Robertson, Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares, all these guys, can they go and overtake what is the heart and soul and the will of the Columbus Blue Jackets commanded by Coach John Tortorella? I don't know. Thing is, all the pressure is on the Toronto Maple Leafs right now, and everybody kind of knows that. This team needs to win. Frederik Andersen probably has the biggest and heaviest shoulders in the world because he's carrying so much weight. But when it comes to a team that has no pressure at all, a team that absolutely did not need to be here, it's the Columbus Blue Jackets, a team that lost all their superstars the previous offseason, a team that ended up sweeping the Lightning last season, a team that can indeed sweep the Leafs too. But I'm not going to be that generous. I think Toronto takes this one 3-2 in a very tight Game 5. Columbus has the ability to win games just from their heart alone. But Toronto, in theory, should be winning every single game because just on paper, they're so much more skilled. It's just, we spoke about this in the skill versus will video, we don't know how good Toronto's will is compared to that of the Blue Jackets. So, I say it's a tight one. Next up, we have ourselves the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Montreal Canadiens. Pittsburgh sweeps. Montreal, man, I seriously did not even want this team to compete here, but now, the fact is, they have an opportunity to get Alexis Lafreniere, and every Habs fan knows it, every Habs fan feels it, every Habs fan is rolling their 1-in-8 chance dice to see if they can actually get that after losing to the Pittsburgh Penguins, but the Habs are the worst NHL team in the return-to-play format. They were last in points percentage, and it really showed when they played the Toronto Maple Leafs. This team is just not good enough to beat Pittsburgh, and everybody kind of knows that. It's going to be a sweep. It's going to be 3-0. Pittsburgh takes this one, no questions asked. And Montreal, maybe they show a good fight. Maybe they play really well, but they just can't squeak out a win. And if that's the case, then that's honestly the best case scenario. Get some good numbers out of there for Kotkaniemi, Suzuki, Tatar, etc., and still get your 1-in-8 Lafreniere sweepstake ticket. Next up, it's the Panthers and the Islanders. And my goodness, Bobrovsky, man. The unluckiest man in the world while also being the luckiest man in the world. Getting paid millions and millions of dollars a year to just stand there and take Braden Point shots all the time, and have your defense hang you out to dry. Florida is one of the teams that started off really poorly in this play-in series, but honestly, I don't think they're going to continue with that stretch of bad luck as they go forward against the Islanders. The Islanders played a boring game against the Rangers, which they won 2-1 in overtime, but I think this one goes the distance. I'm going to say ultimately it's New York, but I'm going to say it's 3-2 in Game 5. And finally, we have ourselves the Rangers and the Carolina Hurricanes. This is the one I saved for last, because it is the funniest one out of them all. New York owns both the first-round picks in this one. So, yeah, they own the Carolina first, and the Carolina Hurricanes were noted as to wanting to have their play-in series with the Rangers be a best out of 5, but the Hurricanes would only need to win 2, and the Rangers would need to win 4 if they wanted to advance. Certainly is a whack system, but in my opinion, the Rangers honestly, to me, on paper, should not win. And the Carolina Hurricanes, as long as they start developing chemistry with all the pieces they added at the trade deadline, they get some chemistry with Shea, they get some chemistry with Vatanen, they get Trocheck in there, and he does really well. I'm going to say that Carolina takes this one 3-1, mostly just because the Rangers should not have been here. They should not have been as good as they were, and their luck, this fairy tale magic is going to have to run out sometime, right? And what more against the Carolina Hurricanes team that was actually built to compete in the playoffs. So, talk to me in the comments below what you think about my picks, but these are what we have. It is the Hurricanes in 4, it's the Islanders in 5, it's the Penguins in 3, the Maple Leafs in 5, the Predators in 3, the Canucks in 5, the Oilers in 5, and the Winnipeg Jets in 4. Talk to me what you think about these picks. I hope you enjoyed these videos. Check out the YouTube channel for all the live streams that we're going to be doing on these games. Hang out with me. Let's have a chat or two. But that's all going to happen once the games actually come. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.